What's up, everyone? Welcome to the channel. Today's video is going to be a little bit different. Normally I give a bunch of background and a bunch of comparison of a bunch of different weapons to try to explain why I think what I think about what's the best. In this video, I'm not going to do that because I just don't have time today, so I'm just going to literally just pretty much give you the builds and tell you that I spent probably 2 or 3 hours going through everything and trying to find the best weapons here for sniper support. So the first one is the bas-b. Obviously, bas-b was ridiculously broken, overpowered in the early days of Warzone 3. And this is the build here. We've got the Crippling Malice Light Barrel, the Olay V Laser, Mark III Reflector, XRK Edge, BW4 Hand Stop, and 45 round mag. This is probably still, for most people, going to be the best option, but I'll give you some other really good options as well. If we go down to the TTK chart, let's just compare these top options real fast. So let's put it on combination, shot percentage, 300 health. So we got the bas-b, Striker, WSP9, and Core 45. These are the 4 that came out on top. The Core 45 is using the conversion kit, the XRK conversion kit, that turns it into that weird binary trigger. Thank you for everyone in my last video that told me what that was. So the trigger is a binary trigger where you pull it once and it fires, and then when you let off, it fires again. So it's a little more difficult to use than these other 3 options because the other 3 options are all automatics. But it is, looking at the TTK chart, you know, that green line there, it's really, really good. So keep that in mind. Difficult to use, but has crazy, crazy numbers if you can fire near that maximum fire rate and actually hit your shots. Another thing to mention about the Core 45, it has really bad recoil. So in order to make it usable as a sniper support, which means that it needs to be effective out to probably about like 30, 40 meters, I had to remove the suppressor, so it's not using a suppressor. So keep that in mind. It is going to be harder to use, harder to hit your shots, but it's one of those guns where if you're playing super aggressive with a sniper and you push into buildings a lot, it's going to be a great choice because it has phenomenal movement speed, sprint to fire time, all those things, as well as having really good time to kill out at longer damage ranges. The Striker is the orange. It's got great movement speed, really low recoil. WSP9 also has really low recoil and good time to kill. The WSP9 actually has an open bolt delay, so in some situations, open bolt delay doesn't matter. So you can see that when you remove that, it actually has one of the best time to kills in the game. It's great at all ranges, and in that first 19 meters, it has an amazing time to kill of 600 milliseconds. So it's definitely one of the top options. Honestly, I don't think I can pick a winner between the bas-b, the Striker, and the WSP9. Core 45 is going to be more for people that like to try fringe things and try to master difficult weapons, but the bas-b, Striker, and WSP9 are all excellent. The Striker and the WSP9 are kind of interchangeable. They're the 2 SMGs, so they have really good sprint to fire, so they're better if you're playing more aggressive, but they also have really low recoil, so they can be competitive out similar ranges to the bas-b, but the bas-b is going to win almost always in this 19.4 up to 28 meters with these builds, and that's going to be one of the most common distances that you're going to have fights with a sniper support. So just keep that in mind. It's kind of, if you don't play super aggressive with your sniper, probably bas-b is going to be a better choice for you. But if you're someone who's pushing buildings, running with your squad, whenever you get close to a building, you push in with them, then probably the Striker or the WSP9 is going to be a little bit better for you. I would personally lean towards the WSP9 just because I think it has more damage range. The recoil is really similar. It is a little bit slower movement speed, but in general, I like it a little bit more. I think they're both great, but I lean towards the WSP a little bit more. So let's go back up and look at the builds. So the Striker next. So Striker, we've got Sonic Suppressor S. This just increases bullet velocity and damage range and has really minimal negatives. We like that Mark III reflector on all these. The RB Crotalus Assault stock. This is a stock that really helps with recoil for the Striker, and it really doesn't have any big negatives. Then the FTAC MSP98 hand stop. This is one of those new underbarrels that's just has phenomenal stats. So you can see that it helps gun kick, vertical recoil, hurts your horizontal by a tiny, tiny bit, but gives you much better movement speed, ADS movement speed. It's just an awesome attachment. And then 60 round drum, obviously. So I think this is absolutely an S tier sniper support. On to the WSP9. Sonic Suppressor S again. It's just the best suppressor. Damage range, bullet velocity with minor penalties to sprint to fire and recoil. And I actually went with this WSP Reckless long barrel. So this has a bunch of extra range and bullet velocity. Right now, TGD is bugged where it's showing swap speed instead of sprint to fire speed. So I need to go in and fix that. That's going to be an annoying problem to solve. But yeah, so that's supposed to say sprint to fire speed. So it hurts your sprint to fire, but the WSP9 actually has phenomenal sprint to fire already, so it doesn't really matter. Like, it's still going to be faster than even the other SMGs. We get the Mark III reflector again, just because it's important to be able to hit your shots at range and see your target. DR6 hand stop, again, same reason. It's an awesome, awesome attachment. Huge movement speed benefits, ADS time benefits. It's just a great attachment overall, and it helps your sprint to fire. Like I said, swap speed's supposed to say sprint to fire there. But those attachments are awesome if you can get away with using them, if the gun has low enough recoil. And then 50 round mag. And then Core 45 is actually missing some attachments on TGD because the conversion kit unlocks some attachments, so I need to pull those. So let's actually open up the game and look at my build for this. So if we open up the game here, I'm going to launch into a private lobby because this account doesn't have everything unlocked. Go into the custom builds here. So this is the build that I would recommend. Like I said, the recoil is really bad on the Core 45. So we've got the Bruin triport muzzle, Mark III reflector for visibility, XRK dynamic precision stock helps with recoil a ton, 40 round mag, and then the conversion kit. And this thing's actually, it's usable. It's still got a decent amount of recoil, but it's definitely usable. It's just that it's a little more inconsistent, like I said, because you actually have to click that trigger super fast to get those to fire. All right, that's really it for the video. I just wanted to cover what I think are the top 4 sniper supports. A lot of people like the Ram 7. I tried to build a Ram 7 that could compete with these guns, and it just has really significant bad gun kick. So the gun like sways off the center of your screen while you're holding down the trigger. And I just couldn't get a build that had stats that were competitive with the bas-b or striker or WSP in terms of how many shots were landing on the target, the ADS time, sprint to fire time, which are all really important for a sniper support, and also have manageable recoil. So that's why I didn't include it. I do think it's good. I just think that the bas-b is better in pretty much all cases. I couldn't find a way, at least on mouse and key, to build the Ram 7 to be competitive with these 4 options. But hope you guys enjoyed the video. As always, the best way to support is just direct subscriptions on TrueGameData.com, as well as getting access to all of the premium features on True Game Data. When you guys do that, it makes it so I don't have to make sensationalist content. I can just make what I want. I can be honest with you guys and just make content on YouTube because I have that other income source. So I really appreciate that. I don't like to make that stuff. I hate doing clickbait things, and I know you guys get annoyed with that too. So I really appreciate it. But yeah, hope you enjoyed the video. Hope these builds serve you well, and I'll see you in the next one.